The illegal elbow.
Elbow techniques.
This is the elbow.
An elbow from here. I'll throw the elbow.
Yeah, the illegal elbow.
All right, people, we're back, man. Illegal Elbow Radio. Another exciting episode for you guys, man. This is Brian from Illegal Elbow Radio, Illegal Elbow on Twitter.
And this is Dan from MMA Aftermath on Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah, Kato, man, Bellator, I'd have to say, coming out, I was suspect on this, but overall, good night for Bellator on a Friday, man. Bellator 139. Maybe a bright spot we've seen, too, with Kato coming in and knocking out Schilling. Schilling, as you said in the past, bro, had a kickboxing background and even took out a Melvin Manhoof.
Yeah, it's, and Schilling's known, obviously Schilling's known. He's got great striking power. And there's, I don't know his record offhand. I really don't know his kickboxing record offhand. I don't even know where you could find that because I've never bothered to look for it. But the guy, decorated. You know what I mean? Basically,
It's not transcended over, man.
Yeah, I hear it everywhere. I hear, how great the guy is at kickboxing. It's so it's like, oh, sweet, man. And the Manhoof fight proved that. I mean, it was a barn burner, man. It was an awesome
knockdown, drag out.
Right. I mean, they were on the fence of knocking each other out. But he scored the knockout. A nice win. You know what I mean? Huge win in the way of MMA. I mean, a newer guy coming in. You know what I mean? Not really new because he's been in since 2008 and 2014. He took like a 6-year break. I mean, it was a huge break between. Like I said, it was like 4 fights in 2008 alone. And then went like a 6-year break, and it came back in 2014. So he's back in here not even a couple years. Yeah. So, but he's 2-5, man. So we can't really, at this point, it doesn't look good.
No, it doesn't. And with him going toe-to-toe with a Manhoof and maybe eating some punches to give some punches.
Yeah.
Which would harken back to maybe he was just a brawler, dude, in kickboxing. Hey, didn't have his defense up on the Superman punch that Misaki Kato launched at him and knocked him right the fuck out, dude.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know a shit ton about Kato. We could take a quick look here, man, before we move on.
5-1, and he was built. He looked pretty stout, man. He looked pretty built, and like I said, he could be a bright spot for Bellator. We'll have to see.
Yeah, before getting into Bellator, everything was through. I have never even heard of it, but it's called Heat. Heat 26, 28, Heat 30, 31, 35, and then bam, he's in Bellator. But every single
spot over Japan,
check it out, guys. Every single win is a knockout. So that's a nice score for Bellator. At least we know we got a knockout artist right here in the 185-pound Bellator division.
And before we move on, this is back what Brian says, and he's been saying this, and there's a lot of doubters about Coker. Coker has so many fucking connections over in Japan and Russia. He's probably got a bunch of scouts in all kinds of countries scouting a guy like Misaki Kato. And guess what, man? This guy, from what I seen coming in, taking this guy out, we'll look forward to his next fight. But moving on, bro, Pat Curran had a good showing against Sanchez. Just basically outworked him, pointing him out, scoring. But another controversial win was a David Rickels against a John Alessio. A John Alessio with he's like a Embersol. With this kind of record, 35-17-1.
Yeah.
And it kind of looked like it because Rickels gave him the business, man, but Rickels got too into it, lost his shit, lost his composure, wasn't thinking, and needed down opponent. Okay? After this happened, bro, Alessio kind of acted, in my opinion, was kind of doing this acting thing like he couldn't continue because I knew he didn't want to continue. Before that knee, he was about to go out and it was about to be stopped. Okay? But saying that, Alessio, man, come on, bro. And the ref could have made it of a disqualification, but he decided to make it a no contest because he didn't deem it intentional. So, Alessio, we're talking about the wars like we did, with a lot of players that have a massive record like that. David Rickels moving forward, 16-3. Let's see what happens, bro.
Yeah, 16-3. That's great, man. I mean, moving forward, 16-3, whatever, one no contest or however many, no contests on there. But, John Alessio right now, the natural, the natural Randy Couture, no. But age 35. I mean, there's not going to be a whole lot left, especially with a record like that. We've talked about this in the past, man. Guys, age 35 with 50 plus fights. He's got 52 fights under his belt. It just don't look good because there's a lot of time taken off your career with those 15 fights. This is kind of cool. I mean, really, he's been knocked out twice, 7 submissions. He's been submitted 7 times, decision 7 times, and then one other, which is probably a no contest or whatever, however it works out. But excuse me, I just I wouldn't say Alessio's going to be any, he's not going to be knocking doors down in the top 10 here. I wouldn't say that, or you know what I mean? But hey, big fuck up by Rickels because that could have been a very nice win and big oops. But Rickels 16-3. I haven't been paying huge attention to the guy. Things look good. I mean, things look good for I almost said it, Don Rickels.
I know, I wanted to say it too, but it's, come on, people. Come on.
Right.
How many people have the last name Rickels? So.
Exactly. But I mean, I'd like the idea, Alessio, it's like, I haven't paid a lot of attention to the guy, but it's like, I know he's been around for frigging ever, man. I mean, so I was excited about the fight, for a Bellator card. I mean, this dude's been in there since 1998, people. I mean, 15-year career going on. 17.
Somebody ripped the fucking gloves from this guy because the way he looked in there, all anybody would have to do if they want to beat this guy moving forward is just watch the Rickels fight, the Don Rickels fight.
Yeah.
but
yeah, and I agree, man. Just go out now. It's like there's nothing to be ashamed of, man. 35-17, it's not bad, man. It's not bad. You know what I mean? But it's the love of the sport, man. It's probably hard for him to walk away. You know what I mean? So.
And another guy that loves the sport and keeps, basically smacking away the haters like myself, a Cheick Kongo coming against Alexander Volkov, who I don't know if Alexander underestimated him or just went with the game plan that you would usually see with the Cheick Kongo, which is Cheick Kongo sitting there trying to strike with you, like he did against the H.G. Barry, almost got knocked out, yet he came back and knocked him out, but Cheick Kongo's been fighting like that for a while, but he turned the tables on this one, used what we were talking about on the pre-fight show, his athleticism, man, and was slamming the fuck out of Alexander. And Brian, he took another. We were talking about getting with a different cap or coming with a different game plan. He did that in this fight, bro.
Yeah, I mean he's still in the Kongo Smashing Club, but that's what they got him listed as anyway. But he's, for the longest time, man, we've said to this guy has to have some kind of a wrestling background to do anything. And he's never done it for how many years? We've probably been talking about this since the length of the show. I mean, literally, dude. We've probably been saying this since 2010. This dude needs to get some kind of a wrestling background, some kind of wrestling training, and when we've given up on him and basically said he's not going to do it, which he didn't. It was a little bit in the LeVar Johnson fight, maybe Eric Smith fight, which a couple fights ago, Vitaly Minakov just, did not really have a real problem with him. We're talking about the champion, which, mind you, that guy needs to get his ass back in the cage already. It's been like a year and a couple months now.
Yeah.
Get the Bellator heavyweight champion back in the frickin' cage already. So,
get out of the saunas over there in the motherland. Get back in the cage, man. Come on,
yeah. But I mean, Volkov, I think he did. I think he did exactly. He thought he was going to stand with him. And if he did stand with him, I think Cheick Kongo probably would have gotten knocked out. I'm not going to lie. I think Cheick Kongo does not have the chin that he did, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or whatever. I mean, he's been on the end of some nasty fights.
And he didn't give Volkov a chance to test that chin, which fucking hats off, man.
Yeah, major hats off. Yeah, I take my words. I eat my words. You know what I mean?
Me as well. Yep.
I said I know. I felt to myself. I know he's not going to fucking go to his wrestling. He's going to fucking try to stand in there and try to bang with this guy, and he's going to pay for it. But he didn't. No. He fought a much smarter fight, because he lost King Mo. Whatever, split decision, whatever it was, split decision.
Yeah.
That's kind of good, because it's like, at least you're doing a split decision. You're not getting creamed.
I think he learned a lot from that fight, too, in the wrestling aspect, dude. It looked like, because...
Yeah. That's a great point, man. That's a great point.
And early on in the fight, if you notice, he didn't go for any takedowns. He wasn't, but the announcer, I can't remember his name, but he was saying it looks like Cheick Kongo is baiting in for a takedown. And I was like, I don't know, man, And he kept fucking, doing his
like
shit.
And
he kind of yep. And Cheick Kongo was not throwing any kicks at this time, bro. Any kicks at this time. He was just punching, doing this. All of a sudden, he got pissed off a little bit because Volkov started throwing these fucking kicks at Cheick Kongo, and Cheick Kongo was like, "Fuck this, dude." And I was like, just like he was, Jimmy Smith was saying, he was talking about him not throwing kicks, and Cheick Kongo was like, "Fuck this, I know how to throw kicks." So he started reeling off some badass kicks, dude. Just started. Open it up. I was like, yeah, Cheick Kongo, man. Back in the day, Cheick Kongo, vicious kicks. And then all this was basically, to get Volkov to think, yeah, I'm going to go toe-to-toe with you. And that's when Cheick Kongo administered that,
bam,
bam, going in there. Volkov tried the double underhooks, trying to stay sprawl. Cheick Kongo, man, used that freaking physique and just slammed him down, bro. And that wasn't just the first time. I think Cheick Kongo did it 2 or 3 times in that fight, man. But
yeah,
good, man. Cheick went good.
Yeah, got to give him props, man. I mean, with a win like that, I would definitely see him in title contention for Bellator. It's just, here it is now. It's like, okay, get Vitali off the fucking shelf here. This is ridiculous. Who else is going to step up and take it? You know what I mean? Cheick Kongo going to have to fight somebody else in order to get another title shot? Who knows? Maybe if they want to give it to King Mo first. But King Mo, there's no question whether he's heavyweight or light heavyweight. I would say he's probably still light heavyweight. I think he jumped in for somebody. I think so. But he, didn't cut a lot of weight for this fight because this fight didn't make any sense. Him taking on King Mo, because King Mo's been 205 forever, since Strikeforce. So it didn't make any sense for them two to fight. But, so I think Cheick Kongo should get the title shot. I mean, there's nobody else stepping up to take it or even claim this shot. You know what I mean? King Mo can't, because I think he's still 205. I don't think he's going to be heavyweight. So, but by all means, let's skip on. Let's move along. But by all means, get fucking Vitali off the shelf already.
Yeah,
he's your heavyweight champion, man. Stop it.
Yeah, it's like it's turning into Bellator's version of Cain Velasquez drama. So, get off the shelf, get back in the cage, or get your belt stripped. Because
why aren't we hearing anything about this guy? They're not saying a word about it.
If you come out and, like you said, Cheick Kongo, we need to hear an answer in 3-4 months on: are you going to have a title bout announced, or are you going to have an interim title bout match announced? We need to find this out from Coker. But that night, good night for Bellator. Let's keep it going. But we're going to be moving on to UFC Fight Night, Lyoto Machida versus Yoel Romero. When we get back after this break, people.
So yeah, I hear Madonna's got a new album out, man. She's been on tour and all that stuff. But I think earlier you said you had some audio of her new song? So there you have it, people, man. Damn, sounds great, man. I mean, what is she, 65 now, I think? I think the album's called Metamucil, I think, or Metamucil Lady or something,
Yeah, it's the Material Girl, and now it's Metamucil Girl or Metamucil Woman or something.
Yeah, Metamucil Lady, yeah. It's like she's going back to her roots, man. That's awesome, dude. It's awesome, yeah. It's...
and it was, before it was like When Doves Fly, now it's When Tits Drop. So it's like, so it's a whole new realm she's getting in.
Yeah, or maybe When Nips Drop. That's probably more like it, but, you know.
Yeah.
Everything's all rusted shut. Please exit stage left. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please get the hell out of here. But anyway, so there you go. Here's your Madonna coverage for the week. So what you got on tap, Dan? What's going on, man?
Kaflooey.
Holy shit, Steve Bosse hits the deck.
Oh, man. Shin to the temple. Good night. But
I was excited, too. I was like, oh, cool. Finally, this guy gets to get in there and make something
hockey
happen.
guy, you know.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know that, but I was like, okay, I saw that this guy was supposed to fight on another card. He was going to replace somebody. That's all. I'm like, oh, that kind of sucks. You know, he comes in, he's going to replace somebody, and then he gets booted out of that card, you know, and then now he gets to fight on this card. Okay, cool, man. We finally get to see something going. He's a newbie, you know what I mean? And that Thiago Santos just has to ruin his fucking parade.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, and that's all.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he hit right in his face and then kicked him in the head. But
beautiful, man, beautiful.
That was the highlight KO of the night, if not one of the top 5 of the year. So let's just put that out there.
That was wicked, dude. That was wicked. You know, well, granted, it's against a brand newbie. So you know, it's not a complete and total shocker, but it was like you said, man, of the night, badass, man, if not of the year. So going to be a great candidate going through. We'll have to see how the rest of the year plays out here. But Eddie Truck Gordon, man, I really, really was looking forward to see this dude. He's a Longo Sarah Camp guy, you know, Sarah Longo teammate, you know what I mean? So I was excited to see what he was going to get in there doing. He didn't look horrible. He looked pretty good, but it's just Antonio Carlos Jr., you know, Carlos Jr. with the cheeseburgers in there, getting things done. Guy looked good, man. I mean,
and he's got probably the longest name, you know, Carlo de Sampato de Antonio Carlos
Lima.
Holy shit.
Rogerio Antonio. No, but yeah, it's.
Yeah, little Nog, brother of the famous Big Nog, Rogerio from the camp of Rogerio.
Yeah, Carl's Jr. cheeseburger. No, but he looked good, man. I thought he looked really good. That Carlos Jr. though, that's gonna follow him for years, man. But
yeah.
But it looked really good. He was the winner of whatever tough it was, Brazil Tough 2 or some shit.
Yeah.
Tough, I don't know which one it was, but because I don't follow him, man. I'm not going to sit there and read a bunch of titling. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do it. You know, and that's the way it's presented. You know what I mean? Because it's over there. Great performance. You know what I mean? Rear naked choke, round 3. You know, went all the way through that fight. Still had enough to pull off a rear naked choke. So. Big hats off to him, man. Looked great. I think he just came off a nasty loss, too. Yeah, it was a nasty loss to Cummins. Yeah, Patrick Cummins, you know, Bormier's buddy. There you go. It was, lost to Patrick. It was a decision win. So I think this guy's one of them long haul kinds of dudes, man, if he can't sub you. I mean,
yeah.
But he doesn't seem like he's a knockout guy. You know, he's 4 submissions, 0 knockouts, dude. 1 decision. So he's not a knockout dude, but he'll stay in with your ass, man. That's for sure. So 5-1, man. Things look good. I like it. You know, I'm not getting overly excited, but I was excited to see Steve Bosse. He got friggin' wrecked. I was excited to see Eddie Truck Gordon get shit done. He got friggin' wrecked. Well, yeah, I choked out. I should say wrecked, but.
You know, before the main event, there was
Turner, man.
some fucking some questions that needed to be answered about a Lorenz Larkin, dude. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, he came up big against Howard, if I'm not mistaken.
Looked great, dude. Looked awesome in that fight. Everybody was like, "Well, wait, dude, is this really how Lorenz Larkin fights now, or is this a fluke? What's going on here?" There's your questions right there, brother.
Well, we said before that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of his last 7 or whatever. Unanimous decisions or for either him or his opponent. Okay, he was a guy that even with what he said at the end of the fight, being "I'm sick of being a scared cat in the corner." Okay, and then coming out and pouncing. later in the round. He's coming at the guy, and that's what he did, man. This guy, he to me just looked like a new fighter to me, dude. He looked like, dude, I've never seen a guy like this, man. It's just like to turn it around like this, really,
Yeah,
to go from a guy that is just, lugging along. He's cut weight. He's gone down weight, and it seems to have helped him because his fucking cardio's there for days. His quickness is there for days. He just toyed with Ponzinibbio, dude, and just annihilated him at the end. Broke him down to his very last compound, KRS-One, and just basically it was over, dude. And big old props to Lorenz Larkin. If he fights this like this against anybody coming up, he's got a good fucking chance, dude.
He's in a hell of a division too. I mean, 170-pound division is huge. But he's 28 years old, dude. He's still majorly young, man. So he's coming into his prime. He's just inside that prime to where he's doing huge things right now. And he's with the right camp. Millennia MMA, forgive me, I don't know a damn thing about him, man, really. But whoever's working with this guy, they're making headway, man. They're making big corrections. Yeah, huge corrections to what he's been doing. And it's awesome, man. I love to see it because he was so good in Strikeforce, man. I mean, he was taking on some big names. John Valente, a decision win over Robbie Lawler, man.
Robbie Lawler. Dude.
Robbie Lawler would tear his ass in half right now. But, I mean, he's getting back to what he has to do to get towards that guy now.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you know what? By the time he gets there to maybe a Robbie Lawler, this could be a fucking brawl, man. Dude. This could be a fucking knockdown, drag him out. Because his quickness right now, I don't even think he got fucking touched. I looked at his face at the end, and I was like, did he even get punched?
Yeah.
He fucked this guy up, man.
Yeah,
His head quickness, his baiting, his feinting, waiting for his opponent to fucking attack, and then countering with a quickness. This guy is... Man, he fucked this guy up, man.
Yeah, excellent head movement, dude. He was able to make nasty shots, just glancing blows. You know what I mean? Just
elbows, fucking,
Yeah, he looked great, man. A big hats off to Lorenz Larkin, man, because it's the monsoon, baby. Just looked awesome. Ponzinibbio was. I thought Ponzinibbio looked good that night too, but it's just. Ponzinibbio's still a new guy, when it comes to UFC, you know what I mean? So, Larkin's really turned things around. He's about a good 7-8 fights in, roughly. And
15-4, not bad.
Right, yeah. And right now, Ponzinibbio's 19-3, but he's 2-2 in UFC. So, you know what I mean? And he, like I said, he looked good in this fight. You know what I mean? He's got 11 knockouts to his win column. He's got 11 knockouts, 5 submissions. He's a well-rounded dude. I think we'll probably see him back. He'll probably look good. You know what I mean? They're both the same age, 28 years old. So, like 19-3, man, it's nothing to be ashamed of. But you got to get in there with guys of a named stature. You know what I mean? And Lorenz Larkin is one of them. Absolutely one of them now because he's put the work in, figured out what he needs to do, and shook off a guy like this. Ponzinibbio, I was thinking Ponzinibbio has a good possibility here of finishing him.
Ponzinibbio got dominated. So
he did, man. It was awesome. So Ponzinibbio, Team Nogueira, American Top Team, they got their work cut out. Fix this dude, man. Fix what happened. Because he was the aggressor, I would say, for a lot of the fight, but... counters, head movement, counters, and is what really helped Lorenz Larkin. You know what I mean? In his overall assault, coming back and just finishing his ass. I mean, it looked great to me. I'm super excited for Lorenz Larkin. It's a dude I always liked in Strikeforce. That's why I was pissed when I saw him do so bad. His first couple in UFC. But looking at Lorenz Larkin at this point right now, like I said, Ponzinibbio's 2-2 in UFC. As of right now in UFC, Lorenz Larkin is 3-4. But he's on a 2-fight win streak. I don't want to take anything away from the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Ponzinibbio is Yeah, it looks great. John Howard's in there too. John Howard's still a good name, man. You know what I mean? He's not a chart topper or nothing like that. Ponzinibbio was a tough dude coming in, and he basically took him apart. Like we said. So
on to the main event, man. The main and much anticipated. Yeah, in the shadow of a little bit of the Aldo McGregor fight, kind of like a in-between card here. But
ladies and gentlemen, there are no weight classes, there are no rounds, there are no time limits, and ladies and gentlemen, there are no rules.
Well, it's not that drastic like UFC 5. I really wanted to see what a Yoel Romero could do coming off of that disappointing fight with Tim Kennedy,
Yeah.
Because there was a legitimate bitch there, and his cardio was in question. Now, on the other hand, we have something else on Dragon's End that's in question. An old style that in a veteran fighter, but maybe a stubborn veteran fighter?
Yeah.
A stubborn veteran fighter that says, well, what I've done has got me this far and in my career, and if I just, tweak this and this on my style, I can beat anybody. Guess what? Okay, first round, let's take that out, bro. Feeling out process. That's gone. Second round, Yoel Romero was swinging for the fences, basically, dude. Some of the uppercuts, some of the shit that this guy was doing. And finally, dude, he cracked the shell of Eloy Machida. And not only that, dude, Yoel Romero has a kryptonite that it's just his style is the kryptonite. He's a southpaw. Phil Davis couldn't beat him. Somebody else, I forget who it was a southpaw. He lost against him. But Machida, that's his kryptonite, along with Yoel Romero being athletic enough. And one thing I have to say about Machida that he tried that was kind of successful at the end of the second was he started doing abdomen kicks. That was his only opening to maybe wear down a Yoel Romero and his cardio. But Yoel Romero, man, TKO, bouncing heads off of shit and ground and pound. Yoel Romero, bro, he showed me something in this one.
Yeah. Yeah, Lyoto Machida. There were some rumblings going on around about Lyoto Machida coming back to this fight too early. He's barely, a month and a half, month out, whatever it was. I don't know the exact time, but which my internet is running so slow right now, it pisses me off. But no, April 18th, back in June 27th. So I guess it's not horrible, but, 2 months. Basically 2 months and 2 months and a week, roughly. So a lot of people say it's too early for him to come back in. So, yeah. I mean, with that in mind, it's like, I'm not making any excuses for the guy. Don't get me wrong, man. Lyoto Machida should be front and center, should be ready to go, with most any guy. But he wanted to get back in there because he wanted to get back in the winning column, wanted to get his name back into, back into, yeah, he wanted to get back into contention. And make a stink, get back in there, get things working, and it just didn't. It's foolish. It really is. I mean, I don't know what other way to put it. I'm a huge fan of Machida. I've always liked Machida, but as of recently, it's like he should take more time off.
Had a 16-fight win streak in his career, bro.
What's that? Yeah. I mean, that's the thing too, man. Those
fighting since 2003.
Those were a long time ago, too, man. I mean, he lost to Mauricio Hua 2010. I think that was the time where he took, his first fight. I mean, he's got wins over Rich Franklin, Michael McDonald, B.J. Penn, Vernon White, Sam Hoger.
Those guys don't even fight anymore, though. But
right, exactly. But I mean, we're talking about back, starting in 2003. 12-year career, going on a 13-year career going on here with Tito Ortiz, Thiago Silva, Rashad Evans. Rashad Evans is where he won the title. So 6 years in, he wins the UFC title. That's beautiful, man. 6 years into your MMA career, you win the UFC title. That's great, but it's like he's trying so hard to get back in that title contention, which is ruining him. And he's 37 years old. The guy that beat him is 38. So,
and we've always this sport is like ever evolving. You start getting up into these top guys, and Yoel Romero, man, this is a big victory for Yoel Romero. A little controversial commentary at the end, but that's for a different show.
right.
But Yoel Romero, all the physical attributes in the world, man, power for days, and if he can get his, like we seen, he only went to the third, but his cardio was still looking good in the third, man. We couldn't say that against Tim Kennedy.
Well, check this out too, man. I mean, let's just take Strikeforce right out of the mix.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it right now, and if you follow Yoel Romero and you firmly believe in him and everything, right now he's 6-0 in UFC. 6-0 in UFC. That's fucking huge, people. I don't give a shit what anybody says. You can talk about the Tim Kennedy fight, and you can make the argument you can make, but he's coming here with a Lyoto Machida, which I would bet Yoel Romero had the perfect game plan when it comes to Lyoto Machida. I'm not going to say otherwise, because Lyoto Machida he wants to prove that karate can be, still be very relevant in MMA. He proved that a long time ago. Why is he still trying to prove that? I don't understand that. Why he said that. I want to still prove that karate can be really, effective and relevant in MMA. It's like, dude, you proved that years ago. Why are you still trying to do it now? So, fights like this right now are hurting him. He needs to back it off, reassess.
You've already dropped the weight class. You dropped some weight, so it's like,
so what are you gonna do? Go back up a weight class now?
Yeah.
I mean, what else are you gonna do? A guy that's older than you, but yet half the fights, just took you out of your game, and beat you, fair and square, man. There's no question about this one. It's like right now, it's just Lyoto Machida. It's like whatever the matchup is, that's where he's going to lose. You know what I mean? Styles make fights. Well, you might want to step outside this karate thing.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. He's whatever.
Step outside the karate and step out inside another camp, maybe.
Yeah, and not only that, it's like, you know what, dude? Don't rely. Excuse me. Whatever Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu belt you have, because I don't know whether he's a black belt or whatever belt he has, because a lot of guys use that for defensive purposes. You know what I mean? The Axe Murderer was perfect for that. Vanderlei Silva. He used his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for defensive purposes. Lyoto Machida's probably done that forever. But it's like, okay, well, now if you got a black belt, which I'm assuming he probably does. I'm pretty sure he actually does, but I'm like I said, I'm not 100% sure. But it's like, now's the time. If you're going to use your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, now's the time to do it. Stop riding on, stop doing this.
He couldn't stop the onslaught of a Yoel Romero on top of him with any jiu-jitsu, dude. He got overpowered, and the onslaught, and he eventually got knocked the fuck out.
You know what he looked like? He looked like
Belfort.
Belfort underneath Chris Weidman.
Yeah, just bouncing off the fucking canvas, dude. It's like,
no defense, no defense whatsoever.
And then you look at the fucking ref when he stops it, like, what? I was only going to take 10 more shots to the face, and I was going to block, honestly. Yeah.
I was going to have serious brain damage when this fight was over, but big deal. I would still win because I was going to sub him. Yeah, right.
No, the fighter's pride, I can understand. You don't want him to stop it, but you weren't defending yourself. You landed 3-4 good shots, dude. Your head was bouncing off against, he had to stop.
You're talking about Yoel Romero.
Fighter safety, yeah.
Yoel Romero, 10 wins, 9 knockout wins. Okay, you're not going to fool anybody. Oh, well, he didn't have me knocked out. No, dude, this guy's won 10 fights, okay? And 9 of them are knockouts. The other one was a decision. You're not going to fool anybody. They're looking for this guy to knock you the fuck out. So
I've already heard it when they were coming away. I don't know if it was Ken Flo or Anik who said Yoel Romero against Jacare. Okay.
Yes, I remember hearing that too.
Yeah,
yep.
And that right there would be a bad. Personally, I think Jacare, they're fucking Jacare over, man. Jacare, like, he earned a title shot like a year and a half ago for me.
Yeah, no,
but
he
it's
has.
like they are fucking this guy over so hardcore. It's like the exact opposite of a Cain Velasquez. It's the exact opposite of coddling.
They're coddling Chris now. They're coddling Chris now because they want to hold that They want a USA belt.
Chris doesn't want nothing to do with Jacare, dude. Really?
Chris has got to deal with fucking what the hell's his name? He's the last guy to beat Lyoto Machida. Luke Rockhold.
Yep.
Chris Weidman's going to have a hard enough time with Luke Rockhold.
I got Luke Rockhold winning this one, but that's another show. You know?
It is.
And I'll break down my reasons for it, but that's another show.
Yeah. If he goes in there standing still like he did with Vitor Belfort,
and
he doesn't get the takedown, he's going to be in serious fucking trouble. You know, he's American. No. We're American. Whatever. You know, you could say all you want about American and whatever and all this other crap, but whatever. Luke Rockhold's American, for fart's sake.
Rockhold's going to come in and make weight, and he's going to pack on some fucking poundage before the fight, dude. So
that's the thing. He's long. He's lengthy.
Yeah.
And he's very powerful. You know, he's got great shots.
Ask Lyoto Machida what happened.
Take him down all day long, dude. You're almost running into a fucking Vitor or a Verdum at a lighter weight.
Lyoto Machida fell victim to the same thing he fell victim to the fight before. He got fucking grounded and taken fucking advantage of. You know, and he got submitted by Luke Rockhold. But Yoel Romero took him down and had his way too. Yeah, it wasn't a submission. He just beat his ass. But it harkens back to what you're saying about where's the fucking jiu-jitsu at?
Yeah.
Where's the jiu-jitsu at? The defense, the scrambling around. You're just getting taken down to the ground and dominated, dude.
Yeah.
So it's
like they use it for defensive purposes when it comes to being on your feet. You know, or defense. It's like when you get taken down to the ground, it's almost null and void because whatever belt you earned, you're not working on it anymore. You're not doing anything with it.
Then call it a black belt in defensive jiu-jitsu. You know, really.
A black belt in fucking poop, PJJ. Poop jiu-jitsu. It's not Brazilian, it's poop jiu-jitsu. Really, I mean, there's no excuse for that. There really isn't, man. Like I say, man, I've been a fan of Machida for years, but it's like, dude, if you're a Brazilian jiu-jitsu artist, like they've been saying for eons now, where was it? Yeah. Same with Vitor Belfort. Where was it? It was nowhere to be found. You lost your ass. You dove right into this fight.
Just you wanted somebody in the guard is not enough anymore.
Yeah.
You know, where's your wrist control? Where is your shrimping out? Where is your trying to get people in arm locks and triangles?
Yeah, hip escape. Anything, man. Something. Work with your hips. Get your hips going. Get the guy guessing what's going on. Nothing.
People are going to say, well, that beat your guys' ass. Well, of course. But we're talking about a fan's perspective here. We've been watching MMA for fucking decades. And this is what we see, and we are a Machida that is – we are big-time Machida fans. But this segment right here is fucking hard love Machida talk, okay?
Yeah. Absolutely, man. It's to me, it's like he wants to prove that he has this – he wants to prove that his karate is still dominant and still – not dominant, but still relevant and still makes sense in MMA. And it's like, well, dude, you proved that years ago. Why are you still trying to prove it now?
The cage is not big enough for his style anymore, dude.
It's not, man. It's not. And it's funny that you say that because on certain nights, there are different cages.
Mm-hmm.
There are smaller cages on certain nights. There are bigger cages on certain nights. So people have to take that shit into consideration, too.
Yeah.
I'm not saying for this fight in particular, but he just jogged my memory here. It happens, man. There are nights where, okay, let's use this cage. Or for this fight, let's use... You know, what could that be for? Because it's a bigger venue? I don't think so. It's because of a certain fight. You know, you got a smaller cage, guy can't move around as much. You know what I mean? You could shape some shit. If you don't think so, keep thinking, because you're not thinking enough.
We were talking about before the fight about a Yoel Romero trying to chase down a Lyoto Machida and getting gassed. Well, guess what? he had no trouble at closing the gap. Now, is that him training to close the gap, or is that a Lyoto Machida losing a step? Okay,
That's the Lyoto Machida losing a step easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
And hey,
Romero had a great game plan, dude.
Yeah, he did. And Father Time is undefeated, and a lot of people, a lot of these fighters don't want to admit it. And yeah, you can get a second win. You can hit the fountain of youth like a Dan Henderson did, but that's all about matchups, in my opinion. So, Lyoto Machida, you're going to have some favorable matchups to come your way in the next couple fights to get your ass back up the fucking ladder right now, man, because
I'm about ready for it. I mean, excuse me.
If Gegard Mousasi was to fight fucking Lyoto Machida again, Gegard Mousasi would win. So that's my opinion on it. That's how far I think fucking Lyoto Machida has sunken down since his fight with Gegard Mousasi, man.
I'm ready for it, man.
Yeah. Right now, as far as I'm concerned,
you know what? Right now, right now though, I don't consider Gegard Mousasi or Lyoto Machida one of them guys either, though. At this point, right now, Gegard Mousasi is still, in my opinion, has a lot to prove being in the big stage here right now, because he's lost to Souza, Jacare. He's lost to Machida, which we're making the argument right now that he would probably, with given the right directions, I don't think he had very good direction in that fight.
Gegard Mousasi's ranked 7th right now. And with Machida losing right now, when he was at 4, I would say that would drop him down to maybe like a 6. Yeah. So, I don't know. That's
Gegard Mousasi, Lyoto Machida too. I'd love to see it, because I would put all my money on Gegard Mousasi.
Because this right to me, I'm not going to call it, but I'm going to call it. It just makes the most sense right now. These guys are at both crossroads in their careers. Why not have this go on? It's like, I'm sure Gegard Mousasi wants redemption, because he got his ass fucking handed to him, dude. He got his fucking head kicked around. He got his ass handed to him, and he was frustrated after that. And I know that he wants to tie up some loose ends on this. So,
and not only that, that was a Mousasi that should have done differently that night.
Mm-hmm.
He should have had a different game plan going into that night. If he would have forced the pace a little faster and closed the gap, he would have done a lot better. But he was lackadaisical, leaning back, letting Lyoto Machida almost
tee off.
Yeah, letting him go off and do his game, and then he was going to retaliate. No, dude, no. People know now. People are very aware now that you push the pace on Lyoto Machida, it's getting to the point where he can't hit it because he's one-dimensional at this point. I hate to say it, man. I can't stand saying
How
it.
many times
one-dimensional.
have we seen
One-dimensional right now.
Lyoto Machida either run right or left around the cage? Run right or left, do his, I'm going to get out of the way with my arms up in the air thing. Okay, well...
Brush up on your hooks, dude, because his chin's not what it used to be.
Nope.
You left hook or right hook, your decision.
I'm chomping at the bit right now, dude. I'm chomping at the bit for a Gegard Mousasi fucking dragon too, man. I'm chomping. But
yeah, I mean, you know what? He beat Costas Philippou and Dan Henderson his last two. I don't think Lyoto Machida deserves a shot at him.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. I'm saying because if you got a Mousasi at a 7, and then you just had a dragon who was at a 4 and just took a loss, a bad loss.
No, that makes sense, dude. Yeah, you're right. It makes sense. It does make sense, brother.
It's been a little bit since they fought, so I don't know. It's kind of like a crossroads match to me. That's just,
Yeah, it was like let's say a year and 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah.
So it's February 2014. So I say let's get it on, man.
Yeah, let's do it, man. We'll break that fucker down to break it down, but we've already broke this one down to a break it down. You want to put a cherry on this one, add a little bit to it, man?
Yeah, I'm going to add a little bit to it. Lyoto Machida right now has to be thinking to himself, I have to change things up. You know what I mean? He has to be thinking that. If he doesn't, he's just being foolish. He's just being foolish. And Yoel Romero, fucking hats off, brother. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
You've answered the question of the cardio. You know what I mean? When it comes to getting off the stool, whatever it was, which Kennedy posed a lot more of a threat.
Yeah.
How about Kennedy versus
Yeah.
Machida? Kennedy versus Machida. Let's have it all day long, man. I'd love to see Kennedy get that fight. So hey, there you go, right there. That's another matchup.
Kennedy
that would
versus
make sense.
Machida, Kennedy versus fucking Misaki. So it's like,
Hey, well, there you go. Dude, two great fights, I think, man.
well, they could go either way.
Man.
Those three guys
Yeah.
right there could go either way. And
Yeah, some sweet matchups to make after this one, brother.
but
Shit.
yeah, and it's middleweight division, man. But I'm curious to see what's going to happen. And time will
Exciting,
tell.
right? It's exciting times right now for this weight division, man. So, for sure, brother, man. Steadfast.
And a God beer.